bothers you to be on your tummy, you can do this exercise on your knees hinged forward in this position. Otherwise, I want you to lie all the way down, resting your forehead as close to the mat as you feel comfortable. Hopefully you're at home, just get comfy there. Bring the tops of your feet to the floor, open as wide as makes your hips feel comfortable. I'm gonna go a little bit wider today than normal, but ideally it's a fist distance. Now, reach your arms back behind you and just let them hang, and then roll everything forward to the mat, okay? From here, we're gonna go piece by piece. Push the toes down, push the pubic bone down, and scoop the belly. Then roll the shoulders back. Then lift the arms as high as you can, lower the arms down, and let everything relax, okay? Engage first. Push the feet down, squeeze the butt, push the pubic bone, roll the shoulders. That is your starting and stopping position. Then you can lift your arms and lower back down. Now try to keep the starting and stopping position. Try not to let your shoulders find the mat space ever. Try to keep your gaze down. I know I'm looking at you just so you can hear me. If you want to lift up a little bit higher into extension, lift the arms, lift the chest. But I want you to keep the pubic bone and the tops of the feet pressing down heavy the entire time. Let's go for 3 more here. Reach towards your toes as you come up. And for 2. And for 1, take it back, hold. Instead of tricep extensions today, we lift. And lift, squeeze the shoulders for 5, 4, 3, push the toes down, 2, 1, and come all the way on. And down. Take your arms out into the side, into a T position. Palms are towards that floor. Into T pose here. Again, keeping your gaze down, slide your weights along the floor. Your shoulders are probably going to rest on the floor. Okay, this is the opposite of what I want. I want you to take those arms out to the side. Roll the shoulders back so your weights can hover over the floor and then come forward and back. Now, if you want to lift into extension, the arms come back and the heart lifts. But if you're feeling it in the lower back, don't do it. Ditch the weights for 3 if you have to. And for 2. And for 1, hold. 5 pulses up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms out, lower, on, down. Keep your weights where they are. Pop back, take child's pose. Stretch out that lower back for just a moment. Good job. All right, so we're going to need 1 weight. And we're going to come kneeling. Okay. If it bothers you to be kneeling, you can fold your mat up and grab some pillows until your knees are cushy. Or you can just sit. You can sit crisscross applesauce, or if you have a box or something you want to sit on. We're doing side arms. So if you're going to kneel, try to go feet in line with your hips and knees right under those hips. If you have to, bring your toes to touch and open the knees for a little extra support. From here, take your left hand to your left hip, your right hand over to the left hip, and we're going to draw a sword. Start small and reach the arm right out in line with your shoulder, and then bend the elbow and pull it back in. You're trying to bring that arm across your belly and pubic bone as close as possible, and then bring it back and in. Now, if you can add a little bit more challenge, you can take your arm slightly higher, but if you feel it in the head, neck, and shoulders somewhere you're not a fan of, you've gone too high. You're welcome to go all the way up, John Travolta style with the arm, but not with your hips, okay? No Elvising in your pelvis thing. Okay, let's go for 3 more just like this. Can you even out the weight on your knees a little bit more? For 2. Ooh, I'm so crooked today. And for 1, stretch that arm out. Hold, shoulders back, pulse it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the sword back to the sheath. Switch the hand to the opposite hand to the weight. Right hand to right hip. Left hand to the left ear. Reach up and down for deltoid reach. Try not to show me the inside of your armpit. I want you to keep the inside of your bicep and your palm in your peripheral vision the whole time. If it's in your practice to add in lateral flexion, go up and over, take a stretch. Try not to let your knees shift in weight. I know that's hard here. It's really hard for me today. And up and down. Let's go 3 more here, and then we're going to take this in to a nice exercise for that top arm. As you go up and over, you hold. Make sure your heart is not towards the floor. Go forward, and then bring the weight to touch the crown of the head. Reach it to the ceiling. Touch the crown of the head. Reach it to the ceiling. Notice the elbow is not moving in space. You're bending at it. Can you get a little bit more bent in your spine as you lengthen the arm? Look up for 2. And 1, bend the arm, and come all the way on and up, switching sides. So keeping your weight in your left hand, put your right hand on the hip, left hand to the right hip for drawing a sword on the other side. So draw it out, and come right back in. And out. And right back in. One side's going to feel a little funkier than the other, so if you cannot go higher on this side, don't go higher. But if you can add in that challenge, why the heck not? Take it today. Just make sure that as you add that challenge that you're not shifting your knees and your hips on the mat space. Your hand on your hip is here to help you find that stability a little bit. If it's really, really, really that wiggly for you, put the ball between or your pillow between your legs. Give me one more just like this. Reach that arm out only as high as you can. Hold, and we pulse up for 5 and 4. And 3, and 2, and 1. Put your sword back in the sheath. It's right there to switch hands. So left hand now to the left hip, right hand to the right ear for deltoid reach. Up and down. Now again, I don't want to see the inside of that bicep. I want you to really hide it as though you were doing this right up against a wall. If your weight gets heavy, just get rid of it. It's more about shoulder stability in your core here. As you reach the arm up, scoop that belly and exhale because we're going to take it into lateral flexion if you did on the other side. As you go up, you exhale out through those ribs and then come right back down with an inhale. Inhale up and exhale over and then inhale to prepare. Okay, just breathe here, but try to make that exhale as you bend. It's going to get you deeper into it. One more here, take it up and over, hold. Touch the weight to the crown of the head. Now reach it to the ceiling and back to the crown of the head. Now make sure that your armpits are not down to the floor. I want to see both of your collarbones forward. Let's go for 3. And for 2. And for 1. Bend the arm back in. And come all the way up. And take a rest, setting your weight off to the side. Alrighty, lying on your back for me. We're going to do backstroke and teaser. We're going to start with backstroke. That way, if teaser's not in your practice today, you can do the choreography that is your backstroke. So make your way down onto the mat space the best way that you can. You can give yourself a little rock or any little stretch that you might need here. Let's scoot away from this wall. Alrighty, so choreography, if you need to see it, will be as such, but I will, of course, cue. Knees are all the way into the chest, not tabletop. I really want you to tuck them in close. You're bringing your knuckles to touch over your forehead. You do not need weights. I don't want you to take them here. Step number 1, we curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, and this is actually the starting and stopping position if you can. But the good news is we usually do this on the box. So the good news is that you have the mat today if you need to lower down, okay? From here, arms and legs go up. They open as wide as the mat. They circle down and around together, and they hold. Hands over thighs, eyes to toes, and then return to the starting position. If you need to lower your head, that's a great place to do so. If you need to leave the head down the whole time, go right ahead. Arms and legs up, we open as wide as the mat, we circle down and around, we hold. Reach the legs away as you lift the heart, and then come right back in. This will be your modification for teaser if you choose not to do it today. One more just like this. Inhale up, exhale, open and circle around, inhale here, and then exhale to come in and take a quick rest. If you want to continue with that, you go right ahead. You could also do the 100 if you're feeling frisky. We are going to go into the teaser. We're going to start with legs and tabletop. If that's in your practice, you can always keep your feet on the floor. It's more important that the spine sits tall. From here, bring the chin to the chest and rock yourself up to a seated position. If you want to extend the legs, you can. I'm going to take a couple before I do. Lift your heart, and then round the spine, look to the tummy, and roll down. Don't let your head flop. When you feel ready to progress, add the lengthening of the legs. If it becomes too much, go to backstroke. And then bend the knees to lower back down. If you want to go for full variation, okay, good old-fashioned Joe Pilates, arms and legs go out, like a big taco, fold yourself up. Heart, eyes, hands reach to the toes. And then if you're going to go full variation, head and heels touch. One more teaser, whichever variation you want, even if you want to do backstroke. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, come up, hold. And then lift and lower those arms for 3. Can you tap the mat? 2. 1, arms forward, lower the legs a few inches, lift. And for 3. And 2. And 1, lower the legs and round over to stretch. Good job, everybody. Alrighty. Staying facing this way, lengthen your legs out in front of you. Bring your hands back behind you onto the mat. We are going to go into leg pull back. If you have any wrist issues, you're welcome to come down to, or shoulder issues for that matter, you're welcome to come down to your forearms. It's just going to be a slightly different range of motion than the rest of us. From here, fingertips either face away or away towards me or away towards the back of your room, not towards your face. From here, I want you to lift your butt up, point the toes, and try to keep your gaze forward. You're going to be tempted to look up. I want you to look right to where, hopefully, your leg can lift to. Flex the foot to lower back down. Point the foot to come up, alternating the legs, flex to lower down. If you need to, again, go onto your forearms. It's just a slightly different range of motion than someone who is on their hands. Keeping your heart proud. I don't want to see a bowl in your belly here. I want you to lift up. Let's go for 3 more until you're nice and even. And for 2. And for 1, lower down. Hold for 3. And 2. And 1, hips go down, flex your feet, arms go up, and round forward to stretch. If you can grab your toes, pull them. If not, just whatever you can grab, pull yourself forward, but don't bend your knees just to get more range of motion. For 3, and for 2, and for 1. Very good job. All right, so we are, what time is it? Okay, perfect. So we're probably gonna go a little bit closer to 10 for some of you guys today. We're not going all the way there, but we'll be pretty close. Okay, so I want you to grab your ball or a glider. Okay, I'm personally going to use a ball instead of a glider. And you're going to need some space for that ball or glider to move. So if you have to fold your mat up or get situated, do that now. We're going to do our version of stomach massage here. This is not an exercise that we teach in group classes. It's very difficult to cue. It's one of the most advanced exercises. But the good news is we can do it on the mat. Okay, ball goes out in front of you. Heels go onto that ball. In Pilates stance, heels together, toes apart. Now I want you to bring your fingers into a tented position onto the floor in front of you and lift tall to start. Now I don't want you to rock backwards on your sits bones. I want you to round your spine forward like you're looking in between your knees into a pool. You're going to push the ball away with straight legs and pull it in and push and pull. Now as you're doing this, imagine that your sits bones are squeezing together and that you're keeping your mat is nice and hot and on fire. You're pushing the fingers gently into the floor so you're not a lowercase letter C. You're looking up and over a little cliff there. Go for 4, shoulders back, and for 3, and for 2, and for 1. Pull the knees back in and hold. Keep your hands where it is. Lift up tall. If you have to scoot your hands a little closer to you, go right ahead. And same thing with a flat spine. Out and in. And out and in. Now if it becomes too much, you can go back to a rounded spine, but try to stay lifted tall. Notice the range of motion of your legs might feel different. If you're on a ball, push and squish the ball as you push it away. If you're on a glider, try to slide like you're through thick mud. Give me 3 more. And for 2. And for 1. Pull the knees in and take a quick rest. From here, we're going to add a little bit of challenge. If that feels like it's too much, you keep your hands on the floor in a straight spine. Arms reach forward. As the legs go out, we twist. As the legs come in, we come center. Push out and twist. Woo! And come in and center. Now, if you're on the ball, it's going to try to go side to side. Keep it steady. If you're on a glider, it'll be a little bit easier here. Just try to glide to the same spot in front of you each time. Now, try not to round the spine here. Lift up tall as you stretch and reach. And come center, eyes to the hand. For 3. And for 2. Ooh, I got wiggly balls today. 1 more. And come all the way in and rest. Very good job. All right, setting your ball off to the side. You don't need your gliders. We are going to go into leg pull front, though. If you want gliders or paper plates or whatever you've got, grab them now. Flip over onto the hands and the knees. Hopefully if you folded your mat up, it can still stay just like that because you've got to glide around a little bit. All righty, so hands are coming onto the mat underneath your shoulders. If you have to go to your forearms, no big deal. Just make sure that they're parallel on the floor. And try not to make fists. I know I just did that. Try to open your hands a little bit wider. From here, roll the shoulders back and push into the floor to lift the knees and stretch the legs behind you. Don't let your heart go behind your hands. Pull that heart right over your hands. Just hold for 5 and 4. Push the heels away. Tighten and tuck that pelvis under for 3 and 2 and 1. Lower back down. You can always just hold a plank. From here, we're going to try to shift our body weight slightly forward and back. Lift up into that plank position, hold, and then forward and back you go. The gliders will naturally slide with you. You're doing this from your shoulders. Now you're pushing the heart behind the hands, and then to it. If you don't like it, hold your plank. For 3, and for 2, and for 1, lower down, and take a rest. All right, we're gonna do pikes to bring us standing. It's almost kind of like elephant here. If you want to, you could go to one glider, but I'm gonna challenge myself and try to keep it on two because we usually have one leg that likes to work a little different than the other. When you're ready, come out to plank. You can hold, or you can go back to sawing your body forward and back. Other option is to pike the hips up and then reach back down to plank. Pike them up and down to plank. Heels stay lifted, hips go up, head between the biceps as though you were gonna kick your legs to the ceiling for a handstand. Give me two more here, we're gonna come standing. So if you're not doing pikes, whatever you need to do to bring you off the floor. Hold your pike, bend the knees, and roll halfway up. Let your arms make some sloppy circles, both directions. And then roll your spine on and up. Okay, last thing we're gonna do. We're gonna do some standing leg slides. If you have to ditch out for work or anything, now's probably a good time. But we're gonna do standing leg slides and then we will stretch. So find a place on your mat space or wherever you can that you can have one foot on the glider. Let's go left foot first, right foot on the floor. Hands on the hips to start, roll the shoulders back. And we're gonna soften the knees a little bit here. Slide the glider away from you and then bring it right back in. Now the standing leg might try to straighten here, but I don't want you to go that far. I don't want you to shift those hips. I want you to try to keep your tailbone right down between those feet as best as you can. The in is harder than the out. Now grab onto something if you get stuck. Pull yourself in for a little bit of help. Try to keep the left heel lifted off the glider a little bit, but not so much that you're in a high-heeled foot. You can kind of feel the flames on the floor if it was hot. Now, if you can straighten your legs all the way, please do that. But if it starts to get a little bit harder and all of a sudden you're trying to bend the knees to hoist yourself in, too much. Soften the knees again. Go for 3 more. And for 2. 1 more, hold it out there. From here, bend the right knee, sink into that right foot, and glide in and out for skating. Chest is proud here, and just like we did standing footwork, your heart is over your thighs. If you want to bring your hands to a different position, I am not opposed. Otherwise, hands to hips. Get a little lower for 4, and for 3, and for 2. Glide the leg in, and stand up tall. We have 1 more set. We're going to do a pick in the flowers today. Arms come by your side. I want you to send your arms and your legs out so you look like a T. Keep your legs steady. Hinge forward. Then round your spine like you're picking up flowers. And then as you scoop to come up, pull your legs together and hands by your side. Arms and legs go out to a T. Flat spine until you have to round to scoop up your flowers and toss them up overhead. Inhale to go out. Exhale to hinge. Inhale, pick up my toddler, toss him into the air. Hopefully he landed at grandma's house. 1 more inhale, go out. Exhale, hinge forward. Round the spine as you inhale, and then use your exhale to come up and take a rest. Very good job. Cross 1 ankle over the opposite knee and take a quick stretch. Unfortunately, we have the other side. And then that's it. Okay, friends, glider under the right foot, left foot on the floor, hands to the hippies. One side's always harder than the other. Soften the knees a little bit to start so that you can keep your hips aligned and your tailbone reaching to the floor. When you want to take a little challenge, you can straighten those legs, but if all of a sudden you're hoisting yourself back in, you soften those knees back. Again, one side might require that today. Inhale out, use the exhale. Draw the inner thighs together and try to keep your head over your hips. That's the other thing that likes to happen. We like to use our head as a weight, as a lever to bring us in. 2 more here before we take it into skating. 1 more here, hold it out there. Bend the left knee, sink into that left leg, and in and out you go. In and out. Now lift the heart and be a little bit prouder. I want you to get low as those knees can stand, but if it starts to bother you, too low for you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, straighten the legs and draw the glider in. Let's pick some flowers. All right, arms go by the side. Make sure your feet are nice and parallel on that glider. Open the legs out to the side. Hinge with a flat back. Round the spine to pick up whatever you want. Toss it in the air and go out to the side, arms down. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we hinge. Inhale, prepare to exhale and bring everything in and up. Let's do 2 more here. Inhale, out. Exhale, hinge forward. Round the spine, let the head hang. It's the last thing to come up as you stand tall. Last one here, take it out. Hinge it forward. Round the spine, come all the way up. And stand nice and tall. Take another little piriformis stretch. One on each side. Open up those hips. Very good job. All right, standing